All right, hello. We are live from Printify HQ for our second webinar in the series of frequently asked questions answered by merchant support. This is part 2, where we'll be talking about the most frequently asked questions from the post-order side of things. So after your orders have gone into production, these, according to merchant support, are the most frequently asked questions. So we will be answering those for you, clearing up some doubts. I'm joined with my colleague today, Christopher from Merchant Support. Hello, Christopher.
Hi.
Good. All right. And I am Martin, your host for this webinar series and every webinar that we'll be showing throughout 2022. So be sure and check back early and often. We'll be covering all kinds of fun and interesting topics to make you a more profitable merchant, because that is our one goal, is to save you time and put more money in your pocket. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. But before we do, go ahead and put into chat where you are joining us from, city, state, province, country, whatever it might be. Always like to know where people are joining us from. And also, in chat today, we have our moderators, Christopher and Sarang. They'll be answering any and all of your questions in this live webinar. So if you have any questions as we go along, put those in and they'll be answered right away. Okay, Christopher, you ready?
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and get this started. We already covered who we were, so we don't have to go through that again. Okay, so for those of us who may have missed the last webinar, Christopher, why don't you tell us a little bit about how our merchant support is structured?
Yeah, so essentially there are two basic dividences between teams. So we have pre-order teams and post-order teams, as well as our technical team, which is called Ops. But essentially, we have order issues, delivery issues, order change, and order status, which are called post-order teams, and then obviously the product design, setup, product info, and then integrations are the pre-order teams. And those are the whole teams that are dealing with the merchant questions. So depending on your question, you will be directed to one of these teams, and then the agents will be more than happy to help you with those requests.
So in other words, highly staffed and available merchants or merchant support agents available 24/7 to answer any and all of your questions. So how do you reach merchant support? Well, I'm glad you asked, because you reach merchant support by clicking on that little green button in the lower left-hand side of your Printify dashboard. You click on that, live chat appears, put in your question, and one of our lovely merchant support agents will be with you very, very shortly to answer all of your questions. All right, excellent. All right. Let's move on, Christopher. Let's answer some of these questions, okay?
Sure.
First section we're going to deal with is order change and what happens when after this order comes into production, and you want to make some changes. So the first question that comes up quite a bit is, do you offer express shipping?
Yeah, so the short answer is obviously yes. We do offer express shipping. That differs from print provider to print provider. Some print providers actually offer only domestic express shipping options, while others offer both domestic and international. To find out which offers what, there is a really easy to understand Printify Help Center article, which is called "What are the Printify's shipping options?" It really has the table which concludes which print provider offers the domestic and which offers both. And then the easiest way how you would change your shipping method, request the shipping upgrade, would be to actually go into your order details page, and then on the top right corner you should have some action buttons, and one of those buttons should be change shipping. If it's not there, simply you can't change the shipping because maybe the order has been already printed and shipped, or the print provider doesn't offer such an option. But if the button is there, simply click on it. You will be prompted to another screen, which will basically explain you the charges and everything else. If you agree to that screen, then the shipping method will be probably changed, and you will see the outcome on the order details page. So yeah, that's the easiest way.
Okay, and that's a lot of information in just our first question. So we'll be providing helpful links and answers to these questions in PDF format, and those will be provided to everyone within the sound of my voice. So don't feel like you have to take copious notes. Pay attention to our questions and our answers, and we will provide that information for you. So no need to worry. Okay, and a couple things I wanted to add is on those shipping rates page. Also, you'll be able to see with which carrier carriers we offer in express shipping with, whether it's FedEx or UPS or whomever it might be. You can find that on our shipping rates page. That'll be provided to you in the PDF that we will send to you. And one more note about international express shipping, although some of our print providers do offer international shipping. That one important thing that you need to know is that does not cover delays at the border. Anything can happen at those as packages pass from country to country. So even though it's express, there may be delays based on activities at the border. So that's just one more important thing to know. But let's move on. Okay. All right. Now this is something that comes up all the time. Okay. Can I change the items like size, the color, the quantity once an order is in production?
Yeah. So once the order is in production, you cannot change those things. So your best bet would be to completely cancel the order, receive a refund, and then place a new order with the desired items. Although I should mention that cancellations are not always guaranteed, and that really depends on when the cancellation is actually requested. But the short answer is obviously no.
Okay. But yes, here is where speed is a factor. Let's say, for instance, you placed your order, your customer contacts you, says, oh, I wanted a purple shirt, not a pink shirt. Okay. Well, the faster you react, the higher the likelihood is that we'll be able to act on our end, get that order canceled so you can put in the right order for your customer. So speed is the key when it comes to this kind of stuff. And it's a really simple process. Reach out to us, ask for a cancellation, boom. We see if we can get that done for you. And then you just place a manual order. It takes just a few minutes. Okay.
That's correct.
All right. Can I cancel an order that's in production?
Yeah. So this closely kind of relates to the previous question. The answer is yes. Although it is not guaranteed, but obviously we'll be trying to do our best to actually fulfill the request. So essentially, what you need to do is, again, head on to the order details page. Again, on the top right corner, you should see the cancellation button. If it's not there, simply you can't cancel the order. But yeah, just select the cancellation button, and then the request will be sent to Printify's merchant support, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible whether the cancellation is possible. And yeah, like I just mentioned, cancellations are not guaranteed. Obviously, this is a print-on-demand service that is highly automated, which means that once the orders are actually sent to production, they can be actually already printed, because the whole process actually happens really fast. So that it really differs from print provider to print provider as well. But yeah, just keep in mind that cancellations are not guaranteed, and as soon as you submit the cancellation, the sooner the better, basically. So the likelihood of cancellation is actually higher.
Okay, and here's where it pays to mention a little bit of the trade-off between cancellations and getting your orders out quickly. We want to get your orders to your customers as quickly as possible. That means as soon as that order comes in, we want to get it to the print provider as quickly as possible. They want to print it and get it in the mail as quickly as possible, and the shipping companies want to deliver it as quickly as possible. So that's where speed, when it comes to these cancellation, is key. Okay, because again, not always guaranteed, because once we get that order, it's going to be sent to production as soon as we can. So if you need a cancellation, reach out as quickly as possible. Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about the order statuses and all those situations that merchants see in their orders page. This is probably one of our most widely asked questions. Why is my order taking so long? Let's say, for instance, 1 to 3 business days.
Yeah, so this is definitely one of the most popular questions, especially during holiday seasons. So if we're taking the 1 to 3 business day time frame, then obviously the order is simply being printed. No need to worry about anything. The order should be printed and shipped out within the next few days. And there's definitely no need to reach out to us, because we can't give you any updates. The order is simply being produced.
Okay. So if your order is in production for 1 to 3 business days, no need to panic. Everything's proceeding as normally. No need to reach out. But just know it's completely normal, and no reason to expect that there's anything afoot. Okay, so let's move on and extend this a little bit. So why is my order in production after 4 or more business days?
Mm-hmm. So what we actually have to understand that 4+ business days is actually normal. Almost all of the orders that are actually submitted to Printify are being fulfilled within 2 to 7 business day time frame. But that really differs from print provider to print provider, as well as from the time of the year. Because obviously during the holiday season the delays will be more likely to happen. But essentially 4+ business days can mean that the order was maybe reprinted internally in the print provider's facility because of some error. And obviously we want the customers to receive quality products. Therefore, it was sent back for another try, and that can delay the production times. Another thing is stocks. So basically, the product could be out of stock, and the stock needs to be replenished. So that can delay the production as well. And like I just mentioned, during the holiday season, obviously the print providers are receiving much more orders. Therefore, the production times are also longer, and therefore merchants should expect that the production times will be a bit longer than usually. So though within that time frame, it's still normal. If it reaches more than 7 days, obviously reach out to merchant support. We'll be more than happy to help. But like I just mentioned, almost all orders submitted are fulfilled within 2 to 7 business days.
Sure. And one more instance where your order might be taking a little bit longer to get through production is in the instance where you have a larger order, like 10+ items. Okay, stands to reason the more items in an order, the more it is subject to this or that could add to delays. So if you placed a big order, 10, 20, whatever it might be, just expect that order to take just a little bit longer to get through production. Okay. So, Christopher, why does my order show as has issues or on hold?
Yeah, so those are two different statuses. So let's kind of approach one and then the other. So on hold status basically means that there could be a few of the things happening. So we have this thing called order approval settings, which is basically when the order is going to be sent to production. So what it means is that essentially when the customer is actually placing an order on your sales channel, and then the order is imported into Printify, the Printify doesn't send those orders automatically in production. It sends them according to the order approval settings. And this setting on default is set to 24 hours. Of course, it can be changed. Although I should mention that if you have multiple stores connected to your Printify account, you need to change the setting for each store separately. But another reason why the order could be on hold is stock issues. So basically, if the order or the product within the order is out of stock, the order will be set to on hold status until further actions are actually done. And then the last popular reason is the shipping restrictions. So obviously with the COVID-19 and everything else happening worldwide, there are some specific regions where the carriers simply can't ship the orders. Therefore, those orders are actually put on hold as well. In those cases, simply reach out to merchant support. We'll be more than happy to help you. And there's also a really good article explaining the situation about the shipping restrictions, which is called the "How Can I Manage Orders That Are Affected by the Shipping Restrictions." So merchants can check that out. There's a lot of information about that in there. And then the other status, which is has issues, that on like 90% of the cases means that there's some issues with the actual shipping address provided. So that there's an issue with the shipping address, and we just simply cannot send it to production. So in those cases, simply use a tool like USPS address validation tool to simply just check the address, validate if it's correct, and you can actually perform the actions yourself, because when their orders are actually on hold statuses, merchants can actually edit the orders. And then check the shipping address, and If you can't deal with the issue yourself, then reach out to merchant support, and we'll be more than happy to help you.
Exactly. A lot of these issues are very simple fixes. If it's an address, they put down Peachtree Lane. It should have been Peachtree Road. It's a very quick fix that you can make on your end. Edit that order, boom, send it to production, and everybody's happy. But one thing you should know about on-hold orders is that you have not been charged for any of those orders yet. Your account is charged only when orders are sent to production. So if an order's on hold, no need to worry. You haven't been charged yet. You can make any edits possible. Okay, and you can make any adjustments to your order approval settings in your store settings, and we'll make sure you have the information available so you know how to do that. Okay, but of course, if you have questions, reach out to merchant support. Right, Christopher?
Yep.
Exactly. Okay. Speaking of orders and order issues. Okay, let's talk about the design of orders and the questions that arise with that. So, can you please check why the design is different from what I ordered? Mm-hmm. Okay, as a question.
Yeah, so you can definitely reach out to merchant support to check if everything is correct with the received product. But there are a few things that I should definitely mention. So the first one is that merchants should always expect that the mockup will be different from the received product. And essentially, it comes down to simple things like when you're actually looking at the computer screen, you're actually looking at the computer screen, which means that the computer screens, especially the modern ones, can reproduce much more colors, much more tones of colors in different resolutions. And therefore, there will be differences between the received product and what you saw on the screen, as well as obviously you're looking at small screens, and then the received product is actually bigger. Let's say, for example, a hoodie. So the print will be bigger, the product will be bigger, and it will look different. The lighting as well, another reason why the product can look differently. But in those cases, if you have any doubts, reach out to merchant support, provide images, explain what are your doubts, and we'll be more than happy to look into the request and actually help you. So.
Okay. Well, do yourself a favor. If you haven't gone through our design guide yet, please do so. There's everything you need to know in there about how to submit designs, what designs are required for specific products, that sort of thing. Answers all sorts of questions. Of course, if you still have lingering questions, reach out to merchant support. But I highly recommend that each and every one of you out there, before you make these products available to your customers, order a sample. Get that sent to you so you can put your hand on it, so you can put your eyes on it, so you know exactly what your customers are going to receive, and then make any changes necessary if needed. Okay. Great. Here's a good one, because this must come up a lot. Can I have a replacement or a refund?
Yeah. This actually comes up a lot. The short answer is if you obviously see that the received product is bad. The quality is bad. So let's say a few examples would be the colors are faded, there are coloring issues, maybe there's a sizing issue, maybe the print is placed crookedly, or maybe something is cut off of the print, or maybe the received item is broken or damaged during the shipping. Obviously, those cases, reach out to merchant support, provide the necessary information. And the easiest way how to do it is actually going to the orders detail page, and then you should be able to locate the submit issue form, submit issue button, and that should bring up the submit issue form, which will ask simple basic questions like what was the issue, so simply explain the issue, what solution you would prefer, whether it's a refund or a replacement, and also providing the pictures. You will be able to provide the pictures, which is really, really important because we request pictures for every single case. And after that, we will receive your submission. We will check it out as soon as possible and get back to you as soon as possible as well.
Okay, great. And we get it. This is a human business run by human beings, and we all know humans are going to make mistakes. So this is actually one of the best reasons among many good reasons to be a Printify merchant, is because we got your back when it comes to this kind of stuff. If you're doing this all on your own and you're printing and shipping all by yourself, when these mistakes happen, that's on you. Here we cover you when these issues happen. We resolve it for you with either a replacement or a refund. Just send us a picture of the issue. We'll take care of it in whatever way works best for you. Okay? Perfect. All right, let's change gears a little bit and talk about delivery and delivery issues, okay? How long should I wait for my package?
So the time frame actually differs from print provider to print provider. So basically, each print provider has its own time frame, and the easiest way how to check for that is by actually going to the shipping rates page, and there you will be able to find every single print provider that you can use with Printify. And by selecting the specific print provider that you are using, you will be able to see different kind of things like locations, the timeframes to those locations, as well as the shipping rates to those locations. At the bottom of those pages, you will be able to see which carriers the print providers are actually using, which options, shipping options they have. So whether they offer express shipping, whether they offer track shipping, and then also the last thing is where the actual fulfillment center is located. So all of that information is in the shipping rates page. So if you want to find out how long do you have to wait for your order, then simply head on to the shipping rates page and check it out. Another thing I should actually mention is that Printify has network fulfillment status page. Basically, the page covers every single print provider and its current status, whether they are in production, within the production timelines, whether they are experiencing some slight delays, or maybe there are some huge delays for the specific print providers. So I definitely suggest, after checking out the shipping rates page, I definitely suggest checking out the fulfillment page as well, because it really gives the latest updates about each and every single print provider, which will give you the latest information about them.
Okay, great. And you mentioned a few things there. You mentioned the shipping rates page. You mentioned the network fulfillment status page. No need to worry, folks. We'll provide you those links with in the PDF package that we will send out to you. But it's all in the name of transparency and letting you know exactly what's going on, because a more informed merchant is going to be a more profitable merchant. So if you know best what to expect, you can then communicate that to your customers, and everybody's happy as long as they know what to expect. So perfect. Okay. Okay, here's another question. Why is my order stuck in pre-transit?
Yeah, so generally merchants think that it's a bad thing, but actually it's not a bad thing. So if the order is stuck in pre-transit for, let's say, 2 to 3 days, it can mean that the order was actually expedited through the USPS network. And what I mean by that is that the order was initially skipped in the initial sorting hub and actually expedited to the destination of the order. And basically, what that means is that the tracking won't have any updates, but the order will actually be delivered to the destination. And the first update that the tracking can receive is that actually when the order reaches the destination's post office, which would mean that the order will be delivered shortly, or the order is waiting for the customer in the post office. So essentially, the status is not bad. You should be patient. Check out the shipping rates page again to see how long do you have to wait. And also another thing to mention here is that obviously if you have waited more than the allocated time in the shipping rates page, then obviously reach out to merchant support. We'll be more than happy to look into the request and help you. So yeah.
Okay. So don't panic, first of all. And instances like this are going to happen more when, like say the recent holiday season that we just had, when there are just so many packages in transit. Just because it doesn't hit every scan at every tracking point doesn't mean it's necessarily not on its way. So again, don't panic, and the packages are likely on the way. But refer to that shipping rates page. If it's been longer than what it says on there, reach out to merchant support, and we would love to help you. Okay. All right, here we go. Next question. My package is delivered according to tracking, but it's not there.
So yeah, this is also something that merchants can try to deal with themselves. So the first thing, the easiest thing that they should do is actually ask the customer if the shipping address provided is correct and there are no mistakes. So if that's the case and there are no mistakes and the shipping address is actually correct, the next part would be to actually, so sometimes we see that upon the arrival at the destination city, the packages are stored in the local post offices. So in those cases, we actually ask the merchants to ask the customers to go to the local post office and see if they have any information about the package. So in any case, if post office can't provide any information, we will be more than happy to look into the request. The merchants simply have to reach out to merchant support.
Sure. And depending on the community your customer lives in, it's highly likely that every once in a while that the delivery company will just drop it off with the neighbors, and you'll just have to go next door and get it from your neighbor. I know we used to do that when I lived out in the middle of nowhere. Communities like that, highly, this is very, very standard practice. But here's another great reason among the many reasons why it is good to be a Printify merchant, because in these instances when, packages go missing, we've all lost a package here or there, but in those instances, Printify has your back yet again. If you were doing this all on your own, that responsibility would lie on you. In cases like that, all you need to do is reach out to merchant support 24/7. Let us know what's going on. And if the package is truly lost, we'd be happy to either send out a replacement or give you a refund. And that's just yet another advantage of working with Printify. So there we go. Okay. Wow. Christopher, we made it through. All those questions. Thank you so much for your time. I really hope you have learned something. Please avail yourself of the materials that we provided to you. If you have any questions about anything we covered in this webinar, please feel free to reach out to merchant support 24/7. They'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Christopher, thank you so much. I really appreciate you spending your time with us and helping our merchants out. This will conclude this second webinar in the series of frequently asked questions answered by our merchant support agents. So thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time for our next webinars and the many webinars that we will be having in 2022 in the spirit of making you a more educated merchant and therefore a more profitable merchant. So see you again soon. Thank you for joining us, and goodbye.